So it's been an extremely busy 2 days, obviously, and many people have worked intensely, tirelessly, relentlessly, and seamlessly in this investigation into the bombings that occurred in New York City and New Jersey. And it came out successful. So today, our efforts were successful thanks to the brave police officers from the Linden, New Jersey Police Department. They captured this dangerous individual, Ahmad Khan Rahmani, right here. However, in doing so, we had 2 police officers that were injured out in Linden, New Jersey, and I wish their best and hopefully a speedy recovery. This is another example of what law enforcement does every day. They put themselves in harm's way to protect others, regardless of the risks. And this all started on Saturday. When I went down to that scene on 23rd Street, see the devastation from the blast, and the response by not only the NYPD, by the FBI, the ATF, the fire department, by EMS, Port Authority, the state police. They all went to the danger. And you know, for my first day on the job, it's my first day on this job, but certainly not my first day on the job. I was just so proud of what I saw that day, the work that was done, and how it was done together. All the agencies, just the level of cooperation was impressive. We're joined today, as I said, by the Assistant Director in charge of the New York FBI office, Bill Sweeney. He'll give you some details about the investigation, but you do need to understand that this case is very much active. It's still very much active. Our primary focus has been to identify and apprehend a person responsible for these crimes. Now that we have this suspect in custody, the investigation can focus on other aspects, such as whether this individual acted alone and what his motivations may have been. So before turning this over to Mayor de Blasio, I want to offer my personal thanks to everyone who worked so exceptionally in bringing this individual to justice. It's a pretty tough way to start in my new position as police commissioner. But again, as I've always been, I'm so proud to be a member of this agency, the New York City Police Department. Mr. Mayor?
Thank you very much, Commissioner. Well, I want to also say our first responders from the very beginning of this situation performed with extraordinary skill and courage. NYPD and all other city agencies, our state partners, our federal partners, I want to thank them all. I also share a deep concern for the 2 officers in New Jersey, and we are hoping they will have a very speedy recovery. This is a situation where we have rapidly unfolding information. You're going to hear some from us now. I'm sure there'll be a lot more to say in the coming days. As per usual, there are some things we're not going to be able to talk about, and I want to say that up front, but we'll do our best to tell you what we can give you. I want to also note up front, I received a call a few hours ago from President Obama. He wanted me to tell the people of New York City how much he admired the resilience of the people of New York City, how our people handled this crisis from moment one with strength and resilience. And it was so impressive that people were back to business yesterday and today. In addition, of course, the President offered his congratulations to our first responders for all they had done. Now, we have, as I said, a lot more information, and it's coming in all the time. We have so much more information, obviously, than we even had a few hours ago. Based on the information we have now, we have every reason to believe this was an act of terror. We will be going into some detail, and there is still a long investigation ahead, but now we have, as I said, every reason to believe this was an act of terror. In addition, want to note that because this is an ongoing investigation, all New Yorkers should remain vigilant. At any given point, New Yorkers may find a piece of information, hear a conversation, see something that could very much aid the NYPD, the FBI, and our partners. Want all New Yorkers to be vigilant and to provide that information if you get it at any given point in time. A reminder, you call 1-800-577-TIPS with any information you have. We activated earlier today a messaging system used by our Office of Emergency Management that allowed us to get information out to all New Yorkers across the board. And it had an extraordinary effect. Also reached many people in the metropolitan area. We were able to reach all of our police officers simultaneously because of the technology they have now as well. That is something that proved to be very helpful in this instance, getting that message out broadly, putting everyone on alert in a mutual way. We believe that was very helpful in this equation, but there is still information that we'll need going forward. So I want people to be patient because it will be an ongoing investigation. I want people to be vigilant. And finally, as I said, even though this suspect is apprehended, I've said over the last 24 hours, we will have a very strong and visible NYPD presence because of this incident and obviously because of the United Nations General Assembly. So you will continue to see throughout the week a strong, visible NYPD presence, especially from our Critical Response Command and our Strategic Response Group. You will see heavily trained officers and well-armed officers. You will see people in our officers in the subway. You will see bags being checked, bomb-sniffing dogs. That will continue throughout the week, and we want that high level of readiness, of course, from the NYPD. So I ask all New Yorkers, continue your vigilance, continue to share information with law enforcement. And I want to thank Assistant Director Sweeney for the exceptional work and the great cooperation of the FBI in this matter.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon. Since the last briefing we provided you yesterday, hundreds of personnel from the New York and Newark, New Jersey JTTFs, along with the NYPD Detective Bureau, have been working around the clock developing and tracking leads, reviewing surveillance footage, employing sophisticated investigative techniques, and executing searches. Based on our evidence collection and supported by other analysis, the JTTFs began to focus on Ahmad Khan Rahami, working to develop his whereabouts and possible locations for surveillance. Last night, the JTTF conducted a traffic stop of a vehicle near the Verrazano Bridge in Brooklyn. That vehicle had been observed by JTTF personnel at a location associated with Rahami. Based on the totality of circumstances, the JTTF executed a stop of that vehicle. The passengers in the car were questioned by JTTF agents and detectives. No one in that car is under arrest. Based on our evidence collection, supported by other analysis, searches and interviews were conducted at residences in Elizabeth, New Jersey, and in Perth Amboy, New Jersey. Additional leads were followed as well, and we turned to the public this morning for assistance, initially using a more recent photo of Rahami. A short time ago, as you know, Rahami was arrested in Linden, New Jersey. 2 Linden police officers were injured while apprehending him, and our thoughts are with them, and we hope for their quick recovery. We will continue to conduct investigative activity to ensure we completely understand Rahami's social network. For that reason, I do not plan to answer specific questions about our techniques or our knowledge of the devices, other than that we have directly linked Rahami to devices from New York and from Saturday in New Jersey. The work of the first responders, law enforcement personnel, and the contributions of an engaged public have been exceptional. Thank you.
So obviously, a lot has happened over the last 40 or so hours. I want to add my comments to those of the people standing behind me. Condolences to the officers and the victims in New York. I believe there's going to be a charge probably lodged based on the shooting of the officers in Linden, New Jersey by the local prosecutor there in Union County. While that is pending and the defendant is being held, you can expect that the U.S. Attorney's Office here, perhaps the U.S. Attorney's Office in New Jersey, will be working to put together as comprehensive and thorough a collection of allegations as makes sense. We're not rushing against each other to bring charges. We have been all racing together to try to catch the perpetrator here, and that's now been done. But we're going to take a lot of care and a lot of time to make sure that if we bring charges federally in the Manhattan District Court, that we do it in a way that's careful and thorough. Thanks.